Hello, welcome to the West Ham Way YouTube. Myself, Mark Carlaw, and Riley Finch. Riley, the season's almost here, mate. There's obviously, we're getting things set up now. Things starting to take shape in terms of our first game with Manchester City. Let's sort of look at it as a general. You wanted to sort of think about some predictions, didn't you? What's your feelings, mate? What's on your mind in terms of predictions for the season?
Well, just a couple of general West Ham sort of predictions, just your standard stuff. So, for instance, like a top goal scorer. Do you think he's going to be a top goal scorer this season?
Bowen,
I agree
for
with you
me.
there.
I
I
think
do.
Bowen. I've got a feeling Bowen's going to score 20 plus goals this season. I
20
really do.
plus.
I really do. I've got this feeling he's going to be massive for us this season. Really, I just really do. Yeah, that's my prediction on the goals.
You
What
heard
do you
it here
reckon?
first. 20 plus goals in the Premier League.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
do.
that'd be some return. I mean, what was it last season? 11, 12 goals, I
Yeah,
think it
yeah.
was.
And goal and assists as well. He had quite a lot of assists as well. But yeah,
But to be
I've got a
fair,
feeling he's going to score a lot this season.
he only really picked up form halfway through the season, didn't he? So, I mean, if he's on that kind of form throughout the whole season, he could easily get 20 goals.
Yeah.
I totally agree with you, mate. I think, unless Skamaka just comes in, and hits the ground running, I think the only person in our squad who's going to be scoring those kind of goals is Bowen.
Yeah,
And
I don't think Skamaka will do as well. I think Skamaka will probably be on like 19 goals. Do you know what I mean?
yeah, something like that.
He ain't gonna be that good.
19.5, something like that.
Yeah.
But speaking of Skamaka, is he? Do you reckon he's going to be our signing of the window when it comes to we're talking about this at the end of the season?
I really hope so, mate. And I don't see why not. I mean, look, from what I've seen this play, he looks seriously impressive. Yeah, I mean, you'd hope so, wouldn't you? I think the only thing we've got to bear in mind with him is probably we need to be a little bit patient with him. Is just getting used to the Premier League and that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. But it'd be nice, wouldn't it be great if he could get a nice early goal in, score against City or get a brace against City or something like that, and just to settle everything down and go right, I'm going to hit the ground running. I think pivotal is how early he scores, early on.
Yeah.
But having said that, though, that happened to Hilaire, didn't he? Then he fell apart.
I mean, when was the last time we had a goal scorer that you just think, maybe Arnautovic was the last one, you just sort of think to yourself, he's going to score. Give him the ball and he's going to score. You just think week in, week out, he's going to score. And
Yeah.
apart from like Demba Ba and Arnautovic in recent years, those are the only kind of players I can really think of that, could be that sort of player. So for me, Skamaka would be the sign of the season. But I actually think Agard is going to be so crucial for us this season. Now, I've already talked about it before. I think his ball playing technique in the quick transitions for counter attacks, you can imagine him absolutely lumping the ball up to Skamaka, taking it down, nodding it onto Bowen, and then he goes through and scores his first of 20 of the season. Yes. So, for me, I think Agard is going to be so, so crucial for us. I think he'll be our signing of the season. But, there are obviously other people in our ranks, people we haven't signed that come from the academy. Do you see anyone sort of breaking through from the academy this season and potentially getting some first team football?
For me, the only one I can really see that happening for is Ashby at the moment. I think, although he's kind of already had a bit of a breakthrough season as such, because he has made a few appearances here and there, I just get the feeling there's a really good player there. Although we've got Soufal, we've got Johnson, he's going to be a little bit. I get the feeling he's going to get some game time here and there though, and I that's my prediction. I think Ashby could really we might start seeing a real special player this season. Anyone in your mind that you can see coming through the academy?
No, I mean Ashby for me as well. Like he seems like the only player to me that could actually compete. I mean, his delivery is unbelievable. I think he's probably got the best delivery besides Creswell of any of our fullbacks. And obviously that's something that Johnson really does lack at the fullbacks, at the right back spot. I mean, not really sold on Connor Coventry. He could potentially come in. I mean, as usual, we've got hundreds of players scoring at under 19 level and under 23 level that is being, held as the next best thing. Potentially Okaflex. I mean, maybe possibly for Bowen could come in for a few games potentially. But obviously, Bowen's feet are so hard to fill. But yeah, it's going to be very difficult, I think. Who do you reckon will be hammer of the season, though, for us?
I think it's got to stick between Bowen and Rice for me, possibly.
I mean, if Bowen's scoring 20 goals in a season, surely he's got to be hammer of the year.
Yeah. I mean, if that's what I'm thinking, I think for me, I actually was quite keen for Bowen to get it last season. I think
I was as well.
I think it went to the right player ultimately because Rice was just so consistently good, and it was like hard to not vote for him. But Bowen was right up there for me, and I just got this feeling this is going to be a really big season for Bowen. especially now he's broken into the England squad as well. I just get the feeling he's going to be really hungry to really do the business this season, just as long as we can keep him fit. Which is, to be fair, touch wood, he's been okay for us regarding injury. So, yeah, that's my thing. One thing I want to put your way then: any players come to mind you think is going to be a surprise package, even not necessarily as a new signing, but you think a player that's going to come in and go, wow, they've had a really good season, that can't kind of come out of nowhere.
Just for West Ham?
Because I've got someone in mind.
It's a difficult one, I think Vlasic is going to get... I don't think he's going to get sold, and I think he's going to surprise some people this season. I think he's going to have a breakout season. I think Souček as well is going to be back to his best, and I think he's going to have a brilliant season. Obviously in your fantasy Premier League team, so I'd imagine you'd be saying Souček, but I think he's the one person in pre-season. I think he's had the best pre-season out of anyone so far.
I agree.
In terms of at least goal scoring, he still needs to improve in his passing, but realistically, I think we're about to see the Souček we first signed, and that'd be really, really big boost for us. So Vlasic and Souček for me, I think, will be our surprise packages.
I'm with you, mate. I totally agree. I think for me, Souček's going to be the one I think could well have a very good season as well. I think he struggled a little bit last term, and I think the reason for that for me was the whole shift in dynamics in terms of Rice being a bit more forward thinking as a player and leaving Souček a little bit exposed. I think it just didn't quite work very well for him. And it does appear from pre-season that maybe there's been a little bit of a shift going back to how it was. Rice is taking a little bit more of a step back, letting Souček play. I think it just works a little bit better for me. I'm not saying anything from Rice because Rice is incredible going forward at times. Yeah. But I think in terms of that, I think Souček struggled with that. That's my predictions for West Ham. I genuinely think that's where we're going to be. In terms of then the general Premier League, I know it's very early on. It's very difficult to say. Anyone that you think, first of all, who do you think who's going to be a key flop this season? Not necessarily in terms of a player. You can pick a player, of course, but even pick a club. Who you think they're going to really struggle this season?
I'm going... Well, I mean, my bottom three is Bournemouth, Fulham and Southampton.
Really? Southampton? You think Southampton will go?
Yeah, so I don't know whether to say Southampton for my flop, but I think a lot of people are assuming that Fulham are going to breeze it and stay up, and I really don't think they are. I really think they're going to struggle this season. I don't see Mitrovic getting the kind of goals that he got last season for Fulham. I don't really think they've bought that well in the market so far. They've got Mbabu from Wolfsburg, and they've also got Pereira from Manchester United. Whether they think they're sort of already at Premier League level because they absolutely breeze the Championship, well, it doesn't work for Norwich. It might not work for you. And I think Southampton as well really missed the trick. They haven't replaced Broja. They haven't really got anyone in. And I think a lot of people actually brushed over the fact that Southampton only got 40 points last season. They really didn't have a good season at all. And I think it was just Everton and Leeds were so poor that everyone kind of forgot that Southampton really were on the brink of going down. And I think they will go down this season. I mean, so I think one of them two is kind of like my flop. I mean, who are you saying is going to go down?
In terms of going down, I think Everton are going to really struggle again. I really do. I can see there being a relegation scrap all season. I think their signings are bizarre, to say the least. Really, I don't quite understand what's going on at that football club. And I get the impression there's not a lot of money to throw around. I can really see them struggling. I mean, the fact they've also lost Richarlison now, who is arguably their best player, that's going to be let's be honest, they haven't replaced him. Dwight McNeil was no replacement for Richarlison, in my opinion. He's no disrespect to him, McNeil. He's a decent enough player, but he's not going to hit the levels or the heights of Richarlison, I'm afraid. I just don't see it. So unless they've got something up their sleeve in terms of before the end of the transfer window and they're going to do some business, I just can't see it. And I don't think as well, I think the issue with Everton is they're not the most attractive club to be joining at the moment. I don't think many players are going to think, I really want to buy into that project, because I think most people can see from the outside it's not looking that rosy. So they're my general prediction. So I think they're going to really struggle. I flop, although not definitely not suggesting relegation, of course, but I think Chelsea are going to really struggle this season. I think that this new owner, this is just my prediction. I might be completely wrong here, but I just get the impression that all is not well at that football club. I get the sense that Tuchel's not going to be around for very long. I don't think he's going to like having... We know well as anyone what it's like to have an owner that is hands-on and wants to be involved in everything and walking around the training ground every day. I mean, in that kind of environment, we know that Sullivan's very hands-on with West Ham, and it's been a bit of a nightmare. I think it's only been in recent seasons he's sort of taken a bit more of a step back. And and look at the damage it's done to West Ham over the years. So I think it's going to be, and I can't see Tuchel hanging around for that. I don't think he's going to want an owner wanting to know what formation he's picking and what players he's picking. So, and I mean, from Ready, I think they lost 4-0 to Arsenal in a pre-season match, and afterwards Tuchel was fuming and was really questioning the players' commitment, and it just, to me, doesn't look like a very happy place to be at the moment. And I genuinely can see them finishing possibly outside the top 6 this season. I think they're going to really struggle, but that's my gut feeling. Maybe I'll be totally wrong, but that's my gut.
So, speaking of the top 6, give me your 7th, 6th, and 5th sort of. Do you think we're going to be getting Europa League this season? Or do you reckon we're going to get Conference League, or are we possibly dropping out of both?
I think Liverpool and Manchester City will be the top two again. I think they're just too far away from everyone else.
City for the league, though, or
say again?
Are you saying City for the league, or
possibly say City for the league at the moment? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think City will probably win the league, and the Liverpool will be close behind. I think it's going to be a 2-horse race again for the title. I think annoyingly, it's going to be painful to say, I think Tottenham are going to be right up there. I think they could possibly finish 3rd this season.
I think they're nailed on to finish 3rd, to be honest with you, mate. I think
Tottenham and Arsenal. I think Arsenal, Tottenham, annoyingly, North London. I mean, it's going to be painful to watch, but I think them two are going to be very, very good this season, and I think that's going to be the Champions League top 4 for me. I think it'll be Arsenal, Tottenham, and Liverpool and City.
Totally agree.
5th place, I think we're going to be pushing for that. I think West Ham will be there or thereabouts for 5th and 6th. That's my gut feeling. Yeah, I do. I think ourselves, I don't think Newcastle will be up there. I really don't. No. I think Newcastle will be 8th, 9th club. I don't think they're going to be right up there just yet. I think they've got a lot of work to do. I think Wolves are going to be quite a surprise package and could be well involved in the chase. But if I had to predict West Ham, I've got a feeling we're going to finish 6th this season. I just think we're going to be very good. I think we're going to have enough to get that 6th spot this season. But don't get me wrong, it's going to be fierce and very competitive this season. It might actually do us a favour having Tottenham and Arsenal being a little bit beyond us, a little bit maybe, that we're not competing with them because because they're two very, very strong teams. Because I'm not convinced of Man United at the moment. They're going for a lot of change, obviously, and I can't see them competing for that. So I think we're going to be fighting them, Wolves. I think it'll be our main competition this season. That's my gut feeling.
I kind of see Chelsea finishing 5th this season. I know you think they're in a lot of trouble, but I think United are going to be the team that we're going to have to replace out of the top 6. Close to it last season, and I think they've really missed the trick in the transfer market this window. I think if we're going to go anywhere, we're definitely between 6th and 7th. I don't see Newcastle, Wolves, or Brighton or Leicester taking that 7th spot from us, to be honest. No. I just think we've shown too much consistency. I think we are just better than those sides. So for me, I'm gonna go 7th, to be honest, because I do. As much as Man United has underwhelmed me, I still think they have a decent squad, and I think the Ten Hag effect should take effects pretty immediately. But just to wrap things up here, I'm probably saying 7th for West Ham this season. But honestly, 6th place for us is well within reach this season, and
I agree.
It's what we should be aiming for, really. And Conference League has got to be minimum, but we're going to win it anyway, so we get Europa League. So
exactly. Right, thanks for watching, everyone. Take care.